Welcome back to ICTune. This is 6th week of the lesson. Last week I didn't feel very well, so we skipped Saturday, but I'm grateful that we can meet again on Saturday. So we're gonna learn some new things. I know that safer at home is extended, so you are staying at home more than what we expected, but hopefully we will be able to use this time to get better at drum and also to prepare ourselves to praise God. Okay, so let's begin this week's lesson by learning new stuff and reviewing what we've learned as well. So let's begin. We're going to review what we've learned last week first. Okay, so I gave you drums rudiment 2 weeks ago, and first week we did the first and second line. And this week it was third and fourth line. So I'm going to play it first so that you can compare for what you've been playing so far this week. Okay, so let me show you first. That's third line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now it's fourth line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now once you've playing all these 4 lines, last thing that you need to do is keep playing all these 4 lines without stopping or pausing in between. So I'm going to play once from the beginning to the end so you can see how it sounds like. Okay, it's all 4 lines, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It might sound hard and tricky, but if you've been doing the assignments for last 2 weeks, it should be pretty easy. Only thing that you have to do is just connecting the first and second line, second and third line, and third and fourth line. Then you'll be able to do what I just did. Again, it doesn't have to be fast. It just needs to be correct, exact. Your hands and time and accents, everything should be in place so that you can prove to yourself and to me that you can play this kind of rudiment when you see this later on as well. So if you have done this, good job, and thank you for following so far. Second topic of our review is a rhythm that we learned last week. So we have learned 4-beat. In other words, we call this rock. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 with your hi-hat, 1 and 3 for your bass, and 2 and 4 for your snare drum. I will show you with the fill-in, and I'm going to explain about fill-in as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you look at it, I changed the bass drum a little bit, but basic rhythm is just 1, 3, and 2, 4. And as for the fill-in, I have played 1, 2, 3, 4, all the numbers with both hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then bass drum, I played at end of 1, end of 2, end of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's just going back and forth between your hands and right foot. Okay, so if I play with the real time that usually people play rock, it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this was the second topic that we learned for the last lesson. We're going to learn something called 5-stroke. It's actually from the rudiment that we've been doing so far. Okay, if you look at the first measure of the last line of the rudiment, you can see that we've been playing double and single and mixing those. Okay, so 5-stroke is a mixture of double stroke and single stroke. Let me show you slowly so you can understand better. Okay, so 5-stroke basically means that you are playing set of 5 strokes. Okay, first one is double, and then next one is double with another hand, which is left in this case, and you're finishing with one right hand. So it's double, double, single, but that single has an accent, so it should be louder than the rest of the doubles. Okay, when you are done with right hand, then you are going to start with left hand so that you can keep playing even at the fast tempo. Okay, so it's going to be left hand double, and then right hand double, and then left hand single. Always the last single has accent. Okay, so what this is used when we play music is when you look at a marching band or like armies marching, militaries marching, or any marching thing, that you are going to hear this sound. Okay, some people can play all the rhythm and all the fill-ins, but they cannot play this, then they cannot play march music. Okay, so let me show you how it could be used. The 5-stroke could be used. Okay. Okay, so when you practice, something that you have to remember is the first one, the first hit of double should be the smallest one, and the last hit should be the largest one. So in between those first and fifth hit, you are going to make each hit louder than one before. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see the first one is almost, you cannot hear the first one almost, because it's just a tap. It's just a tiny tap that only you probably know. Okay, when you practice, you have to exaggerate a little bit to practice. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you are playing double stroke, you have to start very slow, and you are going to keep this form until the tempo that you cannot keep this anymore. So you play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You keep gradually making it louder, and once you get the tempo that you can make it different anymore, then you are going to play the same double. Even though you're playing same double stroke, you will still have the feeling of it. And then you get faster. Okay, so this is 5th stroke. There are some strokes that we need to know to play these kind of music, not only for marching, but it will be used for our rhythm playing too. So if you can remember this and can practice this, it will be a great help for you as the time goes on. But this is 5th stroke that we learned today. We're going to learn 16 beats as a new rhythm for today. It could be a little tricky and it could feel like it's hard, but if you actually listen carefully and if you practice slow, it won't be too hard. It's the same as 8-beat and 4-beat as far as for playing your bass drum and snare drum. It's just changing for your hands. Okay, so I'm going to explain slowly, so please follow along. Okay, so first type, there are 2 types of 16-beat. That's the main difference. Okay, first type is playing hi-hat with your right hand only. Same as 8-beat and 4-beat, you are going to place hi-hat with your right hand 16 times. Okay, so count is going to be 1E and the, 2E and the, 3E and the, 4E and the. And you're playing bass drum at 1 and 3, adding snare drum at 2 and 4. So it's going to be like 1E and the, 2E and the, 3E and the, 4E and the. It's kind of fast, so I'm going to play slow for you, okay? 1, 2, 3E and the, 4E and the, 1E and the, 2E and the, 3E and the, 4E and the. So you're just playing 1E and the, 2E and the, 3 and the, 4E and the 16 beats with your right hand and adding bass at 1 and 3, adding snare at 2 and 4. Okay, so that's one-handed 16 beats. And second type is two-handed 16 beat, which means that you're going to play hi-hat with both hands. And when you play snare, your hand actually has to move to snare to hit it. Okay, so same count. 1 E and the, and then at 2, you're going to move your right hand to snare to play. E and the, and then 3 E and the, 4 E and the. So if I show you with real time, 1 E and the, 2 E and the, 3 E and the, 4 E and the. And you're just adding bass at 1 and 3 again. So it's going to sound like 1 E and the, 2 E and the, 3 E and the, 4 E and the. And when you play real time, because it's two-handed, you can play much faster tempo. One-handed 16 beat, I think maximum tempo is such as like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is pretty much the fastest tempo that you might be able to play one-handed 16 beat. And for two-handed 16 beat, because you're going back and forth with both hands, it could go much faster, okay? But I suggest you start practicing with very slow tempo, slower than you think, much slower than you think, so you can actually think while you're playing. 1 E and the, 2 E and the, 3 E and the, 4 E and the. Once your body is familiarized with this rhythm, you can go as fast as you want to go. But before that, you have to give yourself time to think while you play this rhythm. 1 E and the, 2 E and the, 3 E and the, 4 E and the. Again, how fast you can go is not important at this point. Most important thing for everyone at this level is playing right rhythm at right tempo with right feeling. If you get it, getting fast is nothing. Getting fast is really easy. Okay, so I suggest you practice very slow and then get faster as the time goes. Okay. This is it for today's class. I know that it could be a little hard and tricky to play, but this 5-stroke, if you've been practicing your double stroke, it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so that's why it's important to practice your basic skills, because it's not only using for that skill, but it's also used for other things too. And as I said in the beginning, single and double stroke, it will be always used for drumming. So hopefully you'll be able to practice and you will get better at playing these 5-stroke and also the rhythm. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll meet again next week by next class. Okay, so hope you stay safe and healthy. I'm going to see you next week. Thank you.